So for all the maybe two of you who were coming back to this channel for the Ni no Kuni videos, I regretfully inform you officially that that's off the table for now. My computer was struggling with it anyway, and after yesterday's events where I basically recorded an hour of footage and then had to scrap it for reasons, essentially means I'm an hour back, and we'll have to do that again. I do intend to get back to it sooner or later, but I'm taking a break from the game, alright? Taking a break. So for now, I'm going to play The Beginner's Guide, a game which has been sat in my Steam library for longer than I care to imagine. It's made by the guys who made the Stanley Parable, or I think the guy who made the Stanley Parable, in fact. Which is, something of a glowing recommendation. I like the Stanley Parable. I don't think it is the greatest, quote-unquote, walking simulator. Fuck, I hate that term. I don't think it's the best one of them out there, personally. I know a lot of people would argue with me on that, but I think it's funny. I think it's clever. I think it does some cool things with the formula, but it is also incredibly esoteric, and I don't know, sometimes stuff like that can rub me the wrong way. Sometimes I just want, a good, honest, down-to-earth story. And that's my review of the Stanley Parable. I don't know why I'm going so much into detail on that when I should just be playing this fucking game. Yeah, Beginner's Guide. Yeah, it's probably going to be more of the same. I don't know. It might be, it might not be. I hear the guy who made this has most recently put out an RPG Maker game starring Keanu Reeves, so that's sort of the level we're working with here. But regardless, let's crack on, shall we? Let's have a quick look at the options. Don't know why. There's not really a great deal to see. Look, it's stuff. It's all good stuff. Right. Okay, let's begin the game. Please make sure audio is on. That's generally helpful, yeah. It's generally helpful. Why has it done left click? I'm not sure I can get my head around this crazy new control scheme. Hello?
Hi there.
Oh.
Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable. And while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Oh, this guy's doing my commentary for me. I don't have to open my fucking mouth, do I? Gonna be an easy video. Yeah, I'm not sure, well, we have a moment of peace. I'm not sure whether we're talking about Coda as in, you know, I code things, or Coda as in like a piece of music, usually towards the end of a long sequence of musical pieces. Sorry, I'm not good at description. Yeah, that's open to interpretation right there. I don't know why I care so much. Also, that was a good Counter-Strike map. I enjoyed it. I'd play it. Fuck you. What we got here then? Oh. Now, I'm presuming these aren't...
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Are you done? Can I talk? Yeah, I'm assuming these aren't... You know, these were games that... This Coda guy is fictitious, right? These are all...
to fire the gun.
These were all made by this Davey guy to look like sort of badly made old games. To be fair, this one doesn't look that badly made for a game from 2008, but you know what I mean. That Counter-Strike map, I liked how it played on all the cliches of you know, bad game development. It gave me a chuckle. Seen a lot of missing textures and mysterious floating assets and things before.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
Oh yeah.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Pretty good. Nope, not that way, okay. So yeah, it's still a walking simulator, it's just pretending to be an FPS at this point. I got you. Very clever. Almost had to code some AI there, didn't you, mate?
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh. Bit worried for a second
This is
there.
the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Right.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it?
No!
Do it yourself?
No, I guess I would. I guess I'm cool like that. I'm a cool guy. Hiya!
Let me pause here for a second.
Didn't stop the beam, did
What
it?
you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
What happens instead? Oh. Whee! Oh. Oh.
the beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Alright. Another fucking labyrinth by the look of it, but... Oh, I can't move forward.
In this game, you can only walk backwards.
Okay. The past was behind. Oh, it's artsy. How do I know where the fuck I'm going though? Oh well, it's just an empty room. That's fine. Can we like fall down these little gaps by the wall? No. Okay. I guess I'll. Oh, what have I hit? Oh.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative.
You don't say.
It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Oh. Okay, so there is more. Okay. Alright. Fair enough. And she stops and looks. It becomes clearer. Up the stairs then, I suppose. This wasn't the right way at all. There we go. Walking backwards is difficult, alright? Cut me some slack. Future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it? Dun dun dun.
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Will I walk forward in this one? It's very dark, isn't it? Someone hasn't worked out how to use the lighting engine in Unreal yet. Or maybe they've learned too well. You are now entering the Twilight Zone. No? What am I now entering? The
And
Void.
that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Even the walking backward one was better than that. Come on.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Alright.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do? I know it's tempting, but there's actually nothing over here. Sorry.
Oh, well, fuck you. I know I was being drawn towards the stairs, but I thought I'd go have a little explore, but I guess my my eagerness to fully experience this monumental video game is too much for Davey. He just wants me to get the fuck on with it. So onwards and hopwards, I suppose. Why am I climbing slower? Oh,
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens.
Alright.
So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
What if I don't? What if I just climb at this rate? I mean, it's not stopped me completely, right? I think I can do it. No, I'm not going to waste your time. Let's go. Open door. Ooh. Can I press enter again to go slow again? No. Oh. What? Oh. You are a gate. You fucking gate.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
A key in one game unlocks a door in a completely separate game.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
I'm pretty certain this one is actually something on Steam already. I feel like I've seen that while skimming through the book. Hey, I was reading those. Ready, set, dick. Fucking told in. Alright, we're in a room. It's small. It has a doorway which will... Oh, it has a seam. Unfortunate. Right, where's the fishing then? I like fishing. I've spent far too much time in MMOs raising my fishing skill. Like, more than actually playing the games, probably. Right. We have a switch.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Quote-unquote puzzle. Right. I guess we can... Oh, that's a dead end. Anything this way? Okay, I take back my air quotes. This is a serious puzzle for serious people. Can we get back? No. Okay, interesting. Is this a solvable puzzle, or is this one of those things where I'm meant to waste time for like 5 minutes and then they teleport me through it or something? And crouch. It's good down here. Okay, I'm gonna be real, Davey. If you're out there, if you're listening to me, bro, I can't solve this puzzle. It's... Hang on. Hang on. Or maybe I could... Maybe I can. Aha!
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
I'm a genius. I'm so smart. Look how smart I am. And these 3 dots definitely mean something. This game's too pretentious to not have spots that mean things. Alright, we got a door. Guess we'll just go through it then. That wasn't a puzzle.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay, let's press enter then. Oh.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
To play, I suppose. Oh, this looks familiar. Hello again. Oh, I guess we'll do it again. You are now exiting.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back, and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
It's a good thing you decided to put them all together in one video game and then sell it on Steam then, isn't it? Never would have got the bigger picture if we had to play any of these individually. Okay, we have a white room with a house in it. Not a bad looking house, actually. This guy's artistic abilities are improving. Good job, Coda. Though actually, the closer we get, the more pixely it looks.
Video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Or a set of tools.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Or he's a lazy bastard.
The tools available to the creator shape
Go either
what
way.
kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Well, this is non-linear, boxy platforms. It's similar, right? Can I drop? I can drop. Hey! That was fun. Don't know why I did it, but I find it hard to believe I can possibly game over in this game, so it's a bit of plummeting between friends, eh? Hey! There's a bottom. It isn't eternal. I say it's a bottom, there's more downwards. There's always more downwards. Let depression tell you. Oh, can I not go? Interesting. Seem to have some sort of force field, some sort of blocking volume, if you will. I guess we'll go this way then. This game's bigger than his other ones, I'll give him that. A little bit more to it, still doesn't really make any sense, but it's lengthy at least. Do love me some length. What? What's squeaking? What's fuzzing? Can I? No, okay. Whilst there's a commentary on the prison system. Oh, in here then, okay. Oh. Up we go. I do like how everything looks like it's made of styrofoam around here. That's definitely the feeling I want. In here. Okay, I'll come in
prison,
here. Oh.
Funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea, mate. Let's... Oh, we just go back again now.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere.
Liar.
There wasn't.
You played 3 and realised what the joke was and stopped. Absolute liar. But no, should games be playable? Well, to be qualified as a game, I would say yes. Yes, they should. But, you know, if this guy was literally just making experiences as sort of an outpouring of creativity and not attempting to sell them or, you know, do anything with them other than have them sit on his computer, then he can do what he wants with them as far as I'm concerned, you know. There's those dots again. Gonna mean something, aren't they? Gonna mean something. Hey, look.
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time. There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Alright. I look forward to that. I bet it's pretentious. That's fine though, I'm a pretty pretentious guy. I like things to make me think I'm thinking. As long as I can stroke my chin and go, then it's a oh. Well, okay. Are you there? Did you come from above?
Here, Coda begins using
What
a
was
creative
up there?
dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
That's the world above. You've been there. Now this is important. Do you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yeah, sure. Ah, perfect. Now please, tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution. Tell us how to get to the other side. Trust me, you don't want to go over there. Over the bad man choice here. Oh, but I do. But we do. We need to get there. Do you understand? It's the most important thing in the world. We have to escape this prison. There must be an ending. I promise you, there is nothing I want more. Oh. Well, I'm real sorry about that, but I gotta go, so I'll see you later, guys. Alright? See you later. Oh. Well, that was just instant. Oh, well, I guess we're leaving our friends behind. Huh. Now this is something, isn't it? Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I've been right here the whole time. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, but you can sit in the black space in the middle. What happens if I solve it? Not sure. But if I have any suspicion, what you find won't be worth what it takes to get there. And then my dialogue disappeared before Joe could read it. Well, I'll see you guys later then. Can I actually leave that? Yep. Okay, well, maybe we're getting somewhere now, or maybe we'll end up back in that room again. Who can say? Who can say?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
And what is on this final floor? What is the, this? What is the this?
It's
Is
a
this my-
lamppost.
Oh.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Well, I'm glad to hear that at least. But how cohesive and clear can a game be when it centers around the concept of finding a lamppost? I guess we'll find out. Oh, it's Dark Souls. Yay! Praise the sun. Praise the blue rectangle. Nice room. Not. Oh, fucking sick burn, bro. Wow. You told him. So presumably people actually
So first
played
off,
this one,
I'm sure
then?
you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet.
Ah.
All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Balls.
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Right. I mean, I get what you're saying. Social interaction can be a fucking ball ache sometimes. This is, it's just a lot of notes though, isn't it? It's an awful lot of notes. It's a lot to read. Wait. A free t-shirt. Oh, look at that. That's abstract, isn't it? Not a fan of abstract art generally. Just looks like someone vomited all over a canvas, but you know, you do you. I'm not gonna knock you for expressing yourself by spilling your paints everywhere. I could be reading all these, but I kind of want to, you know, get on with it. There's a lot to read here, an awful lot to read. I'm sure they're all very, very depressing and meaningful or something. What does this one say? Hey guys, how's it going? Just hanging. Yeah, that's about as meaningful as shit gets, as far as I'm concerned. That's the true depth to the human psyche right there. Now, honestly, this game, we're about halfway through this video now, more or less. This game is reminding me a lot of that Awkward Moments Redux, or whatever it was called, that I played that one time. At the end of this
level, we're going to see the puzzle.
Go on.
And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Aye, what lovely noises. No, as I was saying, I mean, I'll try and talk over this angry typewriter that's trying to attack me with a machine gun, but it is reminding me of that Awkward Moments game. Hey, they are typewriters as well. It is reminding me of that in the whole sort of lol so random sort of sense. Wow, someone's getting mad. But at the same time, I do think there is something at least trying to tie all this weird shit together in this game, which gives it an edge over that.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Well, while it does that, I'll continue chatting shit. Yeah, as I say, I don't know if... I'll try and stick with this one to the end, is what I'm saying, you know. I know I gave up on that Awkward Moments game because it was, you know, just not doing it for me. And this one does have some degree of that, as I say, some degree of just complete left field Dadaism, I suppose, if you want to call it that. But I don't know, I think it might be going somewhere with it. I think it might be hinting at something, at least.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay. Oh. Your shit's gone, bro. Okay, so he made The Sims. Good job. Let's put a giant hole in the ground in the middle of the room. That's not a giant hole in the ground, that's a table. You're not listening to me. Along the wall of the room, I want a huge picture of a horse. Oh, shame. I don't think The Sims is working quite right today, to be honest. Skylight. And a table. You need it. Well, I've got the table. Tables were invented in 1935. That's a lie. That is a lie. I've seen westerns. They had tables back at
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Too right. Too fucking right. That's exactly what I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes. This game is weird for weirdness' sake.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. Fuck you. I'm walking... Oh. Can't walk backwards. Can I walk right? Yep, I can walk left. But there's limits, so I guess I'll just do as I'm told like a good little boy. This guide will enable you to escape any environment. Follow the instructions clearly. Take care that you remember each step. First click on the table. Now the photo frame. Floor lamp off and on again. Left side sofa. Move it over a little. Finally touch the shelves. Shelves? Oh, shelves. I did wonder what these were. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Maybe I don't want to. Maybe I like it here. Right, so
and
now...
Of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Brilliant.
Here's a version where there are no bars.
I actually committed all that shit to memory.
And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Huh, well, how could it possibly be a prison game then? Yeah, answer that and stay fashionable. Yeah, this is nothing like the other games, mate. I thought he was fixated on the prison. This isn't the prison. This is a fucking dark-ass garden. And up ahead we have the lamppost and what looks to be a phone box. Some sort of knockoff TARDIS. A retardis, if you will. I don't trust that. I don't like it when doors open for me. And can I just worship the light instead? Become a firefly. Okay. I guess we'll squeeze in. Hello. Who is this? Hey, it's me, escaping the prison. You're me? ... So you were trapped in this prison too? Trapped? Not so much. I was just there.
Conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
The thing, of course, is that the paradox is a paradox now. The whole thing doesn't work, because you can't be talking to myself because I never spoke to my current self in the past. You did it wrong. You've done it wrong. Every sci-fi movie will be upset with you. There we go, see? See? No. I'm the first person to call back. I started the loop. Tell him how to get out, and then he can come find me, and we can live happily ever after. Me and myself, that's all I need. Oh, this is getting too close to home. To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. What the fuck that means? Yeah, too right, what? You'll never know. Just be sincere. That's exactly what you need to figure out in order to escape. I love being cryptic for cryptic's sake.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Interesting.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Well, we've already done that. We spoke to the green cube head fellows, didn't we? This door looks familiar, doesn't it? Oh, it's very,
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between. Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
Oh, well... I mean, if you really didn't want me to come up here, you could have said that at the beginning. You dick. Let's go inside the house then. Let's have a chat with Dr. Greenface. It's a good name. Lego brick features. Nice little house. I'd live here. I assume it was well centrally heated anyway. Got a bath. He's got a sink. He's even got a toilet. All mod cons. Well, my goodness, I'm glad as heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. And lousy homes make home loners.
Step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Okay. I mean, when was this, 2009? It doesn't look bad for 2009, I suppose. There's... You know, honestly, it must have been a right pain in the arse researching, like, visual styles of indie games across the last 10 years when they made this game. It's the same pretty accurate so far, I'd say. Alright, lousy homes make home loners, that's what we're going with. Haha! Something tells me you're going to be fun to do this job with. But this place isn't going to clean itself, far as I know. I'll finish up here, and in the meantime, you could please clear the table? Happily, mate, happily. There we go, done. Much nicer. That's the table I want to see. Now would you please run into the bedroom and make the bed? You know, I can't help but feel like I'm doing all the fucking cleaning and you're just standing here with a big sort of clean box round your head. Just barking orders at me. Oh. Is it not this? Is it? It's over here. It's over here. Hey! I did it! While you're in there, would you straighten the rug a bit? All the little details matter. Ta-da! Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Because you're not fucking doing it, are you? Well, I don't enjoy it so much as I need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage, the soul that can't be soothed any other way, it seems, which I guess is all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Would you straighten the pillows on the sofa out there? Happily. Look how good that is. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're over there. Apparently they were drinking tar. Well, it's gone now, don't worry about it. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Get on with it, lad. No. No, it was stupid, sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Why don't you fucking do it? And also get a texture. Last I checked, the tub needed cleaning. How about you scrub it down as best you can? Don't need to be perfect, we're all just human. I'm not so sure, mate. I'm not so sure. You're not really quite fitting the bill for human in my eyes, but, you know. I'm easily swayed. Just keep telling me it and I'll believe you. Are there still books cluttered on the floor of the room? If so, could you put them back on the shelf? Oh. There we go, just the one. Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table? Oh.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
these chores ever end? Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it, otherwise it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to... There we go, I saw that coming.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was, like, grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Earlier, when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird saying that. Right, that's pretty cheesy. Zing! Don't ever speak your mind again, or I'll shoot you right down. Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books. Clean up the books. Thanks. Well, I can't leave the house unless I do, so I guess I'm trapped in this endless, perpetual cycle of hard work and no reward. Shit, I think I just realised what the hell they're trying to get at. Oh goodness, those pillows over on the couch are a real mess.
I'm glad he found some peace.
This is peace? This just reminds me too much of my real life, to be honest. Just endlessly doing chores that don't get me anywhere.
The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
It's understandable, mate. It's understandable. I had no intention of staying in the dark space, to be honest. Maybe our good friend Coda gets some sort of catharsis from doing chores, but myself, I find them to be a pain in the arse, and I don't do them at all if I can avoid it. So let's move on to the lamppost of truth.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it important to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. Oh, I'm over here now. This workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know who is so well developed as a person that they make you feel disgusted with yourself, compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend to make you that person. Perfection is within your grasp. The question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy. Being perfect is effortless. Oh, fuck. Oh, whoa. Dude,
And you play as the teacher. Suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
I don't want to stare into the eye of Sauron anymore. Those are some interesting choices. I can say. Let's look at the whiteboard. Let's look at the board. Kids should not follow their dreams. Well, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. Thank goodness all of you perceive me as being wise and intelligent. Check out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? There is no truth. There is no path. If I'm not a good teacher. Nothing. Nothing. No one. No one.
fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have.
Perfection.
To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
Alright, so January 2010. We've come
This one
forward.
took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Yeah, fair enough. As I was saying, we've come into a new year. Apparently it's been 4 months, as you just said, since the last game, so this seems like a pretty good place to break up my video, you know? I think I'm going to leave it here at, 56 minutes I've been recording now. It's so nice to have 2 monitors, so I can keep an eye on that. And I'll see you guys for more of this, because, as I say, it's weird and it's kind of aggravating at times, but I think it's going somewhere, and it is honestly kind of making me think. So, and I need to be encouraged to do that, because I don't usually off my own back, you know. So yeah, I'll see you guys for part 2. It'll come sooner or later, when you're least expecting it. Bye for now.